Hey, welcome back everybody. Welcome back to my channel, AmusedJester, and my name is Junior. And what we're going to do today is review these Mattel's 12-inch versions of our DC superheroes. When I first heard about these, I had thought they were going to be $20 each, and luckily they're not. Actually, when I got this on Amazon, it was $12.99, which is the same price as their core lines, but now they're saying it's $13.99. I don't know. All I know is I got it for $12.99. Now, for $12.99, I'm definitely more than willing to spend a few bucks just to see what they're like. They're supposedly 12 inches. Here's the thing for Batman. Here's the back. I'm debating whether I'm gonna get in the core line version the black suit Batman. Here's the one with Flash, Superman over here, and everything. All right, so let me go ahead and take it out of packaging. I'll keep the packaging in hand so we can compare what we're seeing in a box. But let me go ahead and take them out and we'll see what's going on. All right, so it's out now. There's nothing else. Aside from the figure itself, there's nothing else, right? But before we start with anything else, we have to start with Superman. And we have to start with the face, because Superman's the full-blown face. So and the face is basically where this whole thing is at. First off, I want to look at this face, which is very beautifully classic Superman, right? And this face, and then compare it to what they have. Now, when I saw the initial sculpt over here on this face compared to this one, I thought, man, that's amazing. If we get that face, we got it. So let's see. Oop, let me turn on the flashlight. Now the camera is fish eyeing it, so you're getting some sort of distortion going on. But let me look out of the camera and compare. And I'm telling you guys, this is first spot on to what's pictured here. It is. It really is. So let's look and see. Oh man, but unfortunately for mine, I see a missing paint app on the eyebrows. But here's the eyes. We're closing on the eyes. So it's printed. Nice blue eyes. And the lips are colored as well. And I have a more... Okay, so that's just dirt. Nice clean painting on the hair. Oh man, this is money. This $13 for something like this. So much more better than Spin Masters, honestly. So the head goes pretty good down. Not bad on the up. Only because if I'm gonna do some, flying and everything, I wish it could have been higher, but it's good, pretty up. This is just printed on, and this is the whole body as it is. So you're basically standing him up like that. So how many points of articulation? It's very, very basic points of articulation. It says 5 points of articulation, but as I'm playing with it, I think there's more. So first off, there's 1. There's 2, 3, but here's 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8, 9. So there's 9 points of articulation because these boots do turn. And do I wish it could have been more? Oh, absolutely. Like if they had done the same type of articulation for this one to these big ones, I would have been ecstatic. Because we've never received a 12-inch kid-centric line with this type of articulation for that size. I don't think we have. I believe Spin Masters, which I do have some. Hold on a second. Okay, I found my Spin Master Batman. I don't even know I bought this. I think I bought, there's a 4-pack for $10. That's the reason I bought it at Ross. So for Spin Master, this is the same. That's the same, but it has an elbow articulation, and that elbow has a little bit of a twist. Nothing on the waist, and then it also has a knee articulation, but nothing on the boots. So, but look the difference though. Oh, and also, this is what I've learned too, is that these guys are actually, oh yeah, taller. The Spin Master is slightly taller than what we're getting right now. And we're just basically going to be doing like a really quick review of the whole thing, honestly. And here's Batman. Right? So the lips are colored. Eyes are colored. Nice crisp emblem. I kind of hope that they revisit Batman with classic colors. Blue and gray with the oval bat symbol. Is this, why is this like, is this removable, this belt? No, it's not. It's just... And then here's the Flash. We're going to be doing some more in the Flash because I do want to compare the Flash with a smaller counterpart and wonder if they're actually using the same sculpt on this one that they just blow up. And I think they are, because look at how close the similarities are. Obviously, I think what they did is they did the initial sculpt, and then as they're just deciding which line it will go, whether to the 6.5 or the 12-inch line, they changed the amount of articulation, obviously. But because they added articulation here, you have a difference in terms of the type of shape you have on this crotch to this one, to accommodate the type of articulation it's going to have. But I think in the end, it's basically the same sculpt, or maybe not. Like the thighs or the lower legs, the calves here are differently shaped. Yeah, it is different though. It seems the same here, but when it gets to this part, it gets slightly different. They're like, this is more out, this is more flatter. But like the body almost looks like it's the same sculpt. Different shaped hands. Yeah. That's the only reason I brought this out, because I don't obviously have the Superman or the Batman yet. But man, $12 for this? Are you kidding me? Such an improvement. Sorry, Batman. To the sculpt that we used to have with Spin Master. Like, let me bring out Spin Master again. And it's kind of unfair because I never bought the comic style Batman or Spin Masters, but look at how, look at the differences between the two. This is taller, and obviously this is based off of a likeness or portrayal of you know, but still they kind of toyified it. But look at the differences between the two. This is slightly taller, as evidenced by the height on the shoulder, but look at the arms. Shorter arms, this is longer arms. What's accurate between the two? Oh, and and then look at the legs. Here's where the knee starts here. The knee starts here is lower. Same height on the boots. So it looks like, and then the crotch here starts off at this height. This is lower on the crotch. So when you look at this thing proportionally, it looks off like thin and longer, because I think the proportions, I believe the proportions on this one is off, while this one is much more superior in terms of sculpt. Also, you'll note that even though it's all black, there's different texturing over here, and I kind of like that going on with Batman, not necessarily with Superman. As you can see, he doesn't have the same texturing that's going on with, you guys hear that, with Batman. His is basically the same one, even though he's also sporting the lines here and also the lines here. So I'm glad they only did that with Batman. I feel that fits with Batman. Flash doesn't have any of those, because I prefer the old classic comic look for my DC superheroes. I don't need upgrading in terms of their costume. I actually would have preferred that Batman didn't have that. Definitely not with Superman. I like how clean the Flash looks. And with McFarlane, he obviously made his own designs with his line, which I was okay with, because times are changing, the superhero designs are changing. Here's a different view of them all together. I didn't notice though. Look at that. They have to be the same, right? They're the same height. Now, what I've noticed too, on the Core 6.5 line, the Flash sits slightly lower than Batman 6.5. I don't have the Batman 6.5. I just saw it on a review brought about, but on the 12-inch scale, they're all about the same height. And having said that, let me grab my, so we can see. So this is not really 12 inches, even though they're touting it as. Can you guys see that with Superman? On camera, it shows that he's like at 11. He is not. He is at 11.25. That's to the top of the head, and to the top of, not the tip of the cowl or the bat ears, but basically the top of his head is also 11.25. And then Flash, I can see he's also 11.25. So he's not really 12 inches. Unfortunately, man, I wish it had been really 12 inches. Like, just to push it. Honestly, even if it was going to be a higher price point, I really would have preferred it to be 12 inches. This is not going to be a fair comparison, but hold on a second. Here is my Hot Toys Adam West, just to show you the difference in size. Man, what a missed opportunity, Mattel. If you had only done this in a proper 12-inch scale, this would have been selling. I mean, even as it is, I'll be honest with you, even as it is, I think this will sell like hotcakes. Can you imagine this at the toy aisle? And a parent comes up to it. Big, bold, big colors. Nice superheroic figures. They definitely know who Superman is. They definitely know who Batman is. And they look at it and they'll look at the price and it's like $13 for this. Because right now, I'm going to tell you guys, as I've gone through the toy aisles and I've seen the parents and their kids coming on, you know what the minimum budget is that they'll tell kids? They'll say, you can have 20 bucks. That's it. No more, okay? You can have 20 bucks and that's all you're going to have. Can you imagine coming up to your parents and saying, this is only $13, Mom. Only $13. And the parents is going to say, yeah, let's get that. But if I get a second one, you got to get Superman and Batman. It's only like 20 bucks. I'm just saying, man. I think that's it. Oh, I noticed that. Look at that. Superman's arm is lower than Batman. What? What's causing that discrepancy? His crotch is also lower than Batman's. Huh. Interesting. Oh, if you look at it, it definitely is a change. Potential. What's the if you're customizing potential? There is definitely potential here. Like if I were to really upscale this, let's see. Hold on. I have to take this off camera. So there's an actually seam here, I think. So if I were to heat this up, I would pull this whole thing off, Dremel this cape out, and then maybe use putty to finish off this sculpt and then be able to put on my own cape. But the cape basically goes this in the back and that one too. And the fabric that they used, honestly, is not a bad fabric. It's got weight and everything. It's just that the way they did it, that's all it is. There's no, obviously, no S symbol over here. It has a good weight to it. It could have been slightly better. There's a better fabric that they could have used that NECA uses. that has a lot more weight than this, but this actually would work. It just needed to be maybe bigger so it would drape, and then maybe pleats sewn into the top over here. That will be an instant upgrade, to be honest, because I would have wanted articulation on the elbows and on the knees, but I'm okay with it not having one. For Superman, in terms of flight, so unfortunately, as you're putting the arms up to the side, because of how it's constructed, you can only do that, so that's going to affect it. But as you can see, it'll do something like this. I mean, actually, you know what? You can actually close it in a little bit better. Look at that, though. There's a bit of a resistance. Oh, it's biting into that one as well. But I think, like, kids, like, playing with this, that's pretty good. Yeah, man. I think this will be a good seller for Mattel. And I really do hope this becomes successful for them. Ah, look at that. Because I do want more. Like, maybe, definitely the core. I want Martial Manhunter, Hawkman, Hawkgirl, which will be harder because of the wings. Wonder Woman for sure. Ooh, Wonder Woman. Green Lantern. Yeah. Like, just get my Justice League over here. Hold on a second. All right, here's another one. Look at that. My old Justice League. Wow. Well, he's smaller for sure. I don't even know how these guys have been in storage. I feel so bad. They're like 10 inches. I feel so bad. Like, look at how dirty they are. But they've been in storage for the longest time. I've just only been recently putting this out, so I'm gonna have to clean this guy up a little bit. But man, you know what I regret the most? Not even the articulation, it's the size. I think this is like perfect for $12.93. Remember, that's what I got it. That's how much I got it for. Maybe it was a mistake on Amazon's part. But yeah, wait a minute. What is? I'm looking at this. Look at this. DC supervillains. That doesn't make sense. The nefarious DC supervillains never rest, always scheming. What? Why is this here? Why is that blurb on Superman's thing? Wait, how is the other one? It's the same one for the Flash. I guess we're gonna be seeing some supervillains. Yeah, man. If it, oops, sorry. If it had, sorry, I'm so excited. If it had been only slightly taller, this would have been perfect. This does kind of bother me though, because this is perfectly proportioned, I think. Even the Flash is, but I don't understand why Superman has much bigger hands. What does that mean? Does that mean this was actually initially bigger scale and they made a mistake and used the original scaled hands? Because I bet you if this was the actual real hands originally, then it would have been at 12 inches. Oh, man. Who changed it? Anyway, just speculation on my part. This is for $12.99. This is Mattel's 12-inch versions of the new Justice League. What can I say? I'm so happy with it. It could have been perfect, I think. But this is what we're getting right now, unfortunately. So, but I highly recommend it for what it's going for. It definitely will have shelf presence, for sure, even without any kind of modifications. It's because of the head sculpt and the physique that they ended up with this line completely is pretty cool. That's it. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you guys in my next review. Bye.